Yeah.
All right, we live now. We live. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here with this thing. There we go. Now it's gonna go. Thank God. Should be in business.
I'm trying to send it to. Yeah, we are.
It is live.
I believe so.
All right, word. I don't know why it's not showing on my end, but anyway. There we go. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bank Phillies podcast. I am your host, Pete, along with my co-host, Henry. What is up, my guy?
Are we back? What's going on?
Are we back? Are we back? Should we be getting into that mood? Should we
Kyle Schwarber's back. I know that.
Dude, I mean, I don't know how many more times we gotta say it. I don't know how many more times we gotta talk about it. Like I'm getting to the point where it's like obviously sounding like a broken record, but like I mean, come on, man. Like how do you like what more does he have to show? You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I get you.
You know, but I mean, what a week. I mean, a better road trip than it was before a couple weeks ago, that's for sure. Thank God. I'm feeling good today. I don't need to I didn't stress too much. You know, I'm not like too annoyed right now. You know, I had a good sleep. You know what I mean? Back and then when next week comes around, I'll probably be pissed again. So it's just like it's the emotions.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, if we get pissed at the next 3 series, something's wrong with this baseball team. You got the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Rockies.
Yeah.
Like if you're pissed at that, got nothing for you. Like, well, you know what I'm saying?
You can't always overlook teams. So that's the thing. You got to stay somewhat humble.
Of course.
In some aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm not discounting them, but we need 3 series wins in a row. That's all I'm saying.
And the Mets keep winning, so we got to kind of gain some ground here. You know what I mean? But whatever, not to bring them up, but real quick, hope everybody's
1.5 games now because we won last night.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, so like 1.5 games. So I mean, it is what it is. What's called real quick, just a quick note. Hope everybody's Mother's Day was good. Again, it was good to spend some time with the fam. All that other stuff. So,
yeah, definitely.
But let's get into the recent series against the Guardians. Phillies took 2 out of 3. Pretty convincing wins. I mean, Saturday was pretty convincing, and yesterday's win was pretty good. Kyle Schwarber kind of carried the team, and Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler had a good game. But overall, I mean, good series. And I mean, not that I expected them to go in and lose the series. I'm not saying that, but I mean, the Guardians, they're a pretty good team.
I mean, they're no scrubs. No. Like they have John Kenzie Noel. I mean, Carlos Santana, which I mean, we're not going to talk about his Phillies center, but and I mean, obviously Jose Ramirez, like J-Ram, he's unbelievable. So I was pleasantly surprised at not just that, like, okay, yeah, if you win games, and it's by 1 run, but we were competitive the entire time. Like, it didn't look like it was 2 different brands of baseball, because sometimes that can happen. Like, when we went against the Mets and we got swept, it looked like it was 2 completely different teams. You know what I mean? So it looked like we were playing different sports.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's okay to me that we were competitive all the way. I like it. Now, maybe I wouldn't be saying that if we lost, but
it's easy to say at this point.
Right. It's easy to say right now.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, real quick, let's go game by game. So we'll go back to Friday's game. This is the only one they lost. They got shut out 6-0. I'm not going to make excuses or anything like that, but I think they were sleepwalking through this game because they didn't get into Cleveland until like 3 a.m. And I don't know. I don't know what it is with this team with, and first of all,
travel woes.
Yeah. And first of all, I'm not here to like bash on the league. I'm not going to go like 10 minutes like complaining about it, but like the getaway games being at 7:00, I understand that the Rays have a different stadium or whatever, but like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why it just keeps like, they get it at 3 a.m. It's like,
right.
Like,
but then again, like from their perspective, I'm sure how many people are going to go to a game at George Steinbrenner Field at 1:20 in the afternoon on a Thursday. Like it's just not feasible. You know what
A
I'm
lot of
saying? And
retired
it's that
people would.
Florida. I know, but like that Florida, like that sun, like
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of hot games if that was the case.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's what they're trying to avoid, though, because they've talked about it before that like there's going to
Exactly.
be a lot of those games where they don't want like to have them during the day
Right.
or whatever. So I get it,
Yeah.
I
And
understand, but it's a little annoying.
that's my point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my point. Like it's the heat of those games because there is no dome. I think if this game was played in the Trop, maybe it would have been a 120. But I
yeah.
mean, it is what it is.
But yeah, I played a lot. I feel like into this game, offense was really just a no-show, and then Aaron Nola. I mean, you know, I don't know if it's like the Marchand thing. I know we were talking about it a little bit.
Yeah,
But just not the greatest outing. He finished with a line of he pitched 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, gave up 2 walks, and had 5 strikeouts. Gave up 2 home runs. So the usual Aaron Nola giving up home runs thing. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I just don't know if they were talking about before with Marchand how it's like he wasn't like setting the target like early, like he was setting it late. So I don't know if that was really throwing off Nola for most
yeah.
of the most of the time during that game. I don't know
Yeah.
how did you feel about that game?
I I I don't know, man. I just want to dive into this Marchand thing a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's him or not,
Yeah,
but there's got to be something to it.
yeah.
There's got to be something to it. Then when you add in the fact that he is a no-show offensively, I'm
Well,
not
that
saying
too.
that's the reason they lost the game at all.
No, no,
But
no.
the numbers bear out that Noah's better with JT behind the plate. Now, when you get to that, I was thinking this when we were texting about it, and then when they were beating around the bush about it on the broadcast. It's not like you can go, well, it's not like Nola goes into the office and goes, well, I need JT. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, if he does that, then Wheeler's going to need that. Then Ranger's going to need that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, JT's
yeah,
not Superman.
yeah.
So it's
Exactly. He
like,
needs a day off.
off. Right. Right. And like, as much as we want him to play as much as he can, it's like, he's not Superman, like to the point where, well, am I just playing because everybody feels like they need me?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Marchand thing plays out for the rest of the season. And I'm not saying anything, but I will say I found a tweet from sorry, just give me 1 second. Where is it? Oh, come on, man. I can't find it now, of course. But no, I gotta find this because I gotta give them credit for it.
Early morning
Where is it?
struggles.
Yeah, rolling out of bed. This is what happens. But come on, man. Jeez, unbelievable. Anyway, it's from is it BSP Sully on Twitter, the one that is the Bell
Yeah.
Smashers podcast?
I think
So
so. Yeah.
she tweeted, and I can't for the life of me find the tweet, but she said, "I'm not trying to say anything about the move, but Stubbs is batting .316 and Marchand is batting .087."
I don't the whole Stubbs thing. I'm not going to entertain just because I know
But
everybody
why
wants.
though? But why?
I know because everybody wants to hear about the Stubbs thing. Everybody wants to be like, "Well, I told you so," and it's like,
I'm not
"Well,
talking about the vibes, but
no, I know. I'm
from
not
play
saying
on the
vibes
field.
either. No, I know that, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said before, I mean, we've seen what Stubbs can do, and obviously it's not always the greatest. But yes, he put the ball in place sometimes, whether I was bunting or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, again, like we know that like right now that they don't want to send Marchand down because he has no options left. So then he's going to try to clear waivers, whatever. Like I understand that, but I just he has no options.
No, I didn't know that. Well, it's
Yeah.
okay. Tait's coming up, man.
Well, let's be patient on that. We don't know if he's ready just yet, but
No, yeah.
no, I know what you mean though. Like, I mean, I kept hearing it. I was listening to the radio broadcast, I think Friday, and I mean, Stocker like said it about like 20 times about like the whole like the difference between when he's pitching with JT and Marchand. It's like, bro, I get it. Like, I know he's got better numbers, but like you just said, like JT's not Superman. He's gonna have a day off, and unfortunately, I mean, for some reason Nola keeps getting stuck with Marchand on these days, and it's just like you
well,
can
that's
almost
kind of how it was with Taiwan last year. He getting stuck with stuff. I'm not saying that's why he's
No, I
struggling,
know.
but it just somehow it was Stubbs and Walker on a Sunday, and I had to watch them every week, and it sucked.
Yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, just bad game overall by Nola, unfortunately, and hopefully it's not one of those ones where it throws him off track again. I don't think it will. I think the next time around, hopefully, we'll see if JT's pitching on that day. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Like, you just can't be like, well, hopefully on this day he's getting called by JT. We don't know that. Like, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Like, there's no like calling for that type of thing. You know what I mean? So
right.
we're just gonna have to be patient and see what decision Rob makes. So
Yeah,
and like I said,
the
the offense was quiet this game. A couple hits. Turner had 2 hits. Castellanos had 2 hits. Boom, Rojas. But they couldn't come through. They couldn't get runs in. And again, at that point, I was just like, well, they're just sleepwalking through this game, so I'm not gonna really like. I was annoyed, yes, but at the same time, I was like, all right, like I'm just gonna, I'm gonna move on from this one. Next game mentality type of thing.
Yeah.
So
and I think winning the next 2 was
crucial. So we move into Saturday's game. Phillies get the 7-1 win, pretty convincing. Ranger Suarez made another start, and a whole lot better this time around than last game. And obviously, this was just only his second game back from injury. So it seemed like he got most of his stamina back under his belt, which was good to see.
Yeah. His pitch count and stuff went up a little. Like, he didn't look as tired.
No, he didn't. His final line was he pitched 7 innings, gave 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. ERA went down to 5.91. So it's a good step in the next direction for him. But I mean, that is the Ranger that we know and love so much. Like, that performance and the way he was pitching is how we know him to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's pretty easy to go down in ERA when your ERA is 17-10.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, it's only one start, and it was a rough start. So, like, it's like, I'm not taking that for what it was. But, like, I got the notification that the game was going to start, and it said Suarez 17.10, and I was like, oh, man, that's a bad read. Like, but, no, he did great. He did great. I think, and then let's be honest, Carlos Hernandez and Joe Ross came in and did their job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to take away from Ranger, but seems like the bullpen's doing pretty well right now.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it. But
don't jinx it. But as far as like it seemed like the velocity was there a little bit when he needed to be. The movement on his pitches were there. Just when you have a guy like JT behind the plate too, that helps a lot too. I don't know if Marchand was catching his first game, I forget. But regardless, like I said, the one thing that stood out last time was the stamina, which it showed a lot more in this game. So
yeah. And I will say, I was texting with Austin from Phillies First, and he said, man, Ranger is on. I said, yeah, he's a ground ball pitcher. Like, he's not a strikeout guy.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like last game he was almost trying to fool these hitters into swing and miss, and it just wasn't there. But this time it was like, I'm just going to do what I do best. I'm going to trust the defense behind me, and that's what he did, and that's what worked.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we also saw that like he was trying to like rush things last time. Like, it seemed like obviously he was trying to catch up a little bit, and then he's missing spots and whatnot. But this time around, it just seemed like he was very calm, and he was back to his old ways, which was just good to see. Yep. And hopefully, knock on wood here, but like the back is fine. We don't want to hear anything next couple of days like, oh, starting to bother him again. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a thing. It's a tough thing to deal with throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? So you're just hoping that like, okay, he's feeling good after most of these starts, especially going, 7 full innings and however many pitches that he's throwing, that can really like wear and tear sometimes on some guys, it just depends on, how they deal with it type of thing.
Right.
But yeah, the bullpen was good too. Carlos Hernandez, listen, I still think he'll end up being the odd man out, but he's still, having some good outings recently. So, which is good to see. And then Joe Ross, he did give up that earned run late, so unfortunately didn't get the shutout, but it is what it is. But he closed the game out, which was good. So hopefully we've talked about him before, like him finding his role, and which spot he's comfortable in. So I think that's the one that it is. So And the good thing is they had a lead too, so it takes a lot of pressure
Right.
off
I
of
was
those
gonna
guys.
say it takes some pressure off them, and you don't have to throw Strom, Alvarado, and I'd say Kirkring, but he's not doing the best right now.
No.
But you don't have to use your big guys, is my point.
Yeah,
And then you save
exactly.
them for the next day when we really needed them, when it's only 1-0 in the 8th inning or whatever it was, like,
Yeah.
or 7th inning, whatever. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
that's where you need them.
Yeah. Good offensive side of things. Top of the fourth, they finally got on the board 1-0. And then the next 4 innings was really quiet until the top of the eighth, where everything really like broke out, basically. This
Yeah.
was kind of the inning that like the offense just kind of like was like, oh, hello, like we're here, by the way. Thank God, because it was getting a little nerve-wracking, um
Man.
but two guys got on, and then Harper came to the plate and hit a 3-run homer to kind of break the game open. That was like, it was good to see, and you saw the emotion on Harper's face. After
Yeah.
just what he was showing when he got the home plate and afterwards, like you could feel that he needed that home run.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. And maybe it gets everybody to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it gets everybody to shut up. Like, because I'm getting really sick of well, is Harper washed? Is he cooked? Is he
Yeah.
not a good baseball player anymore? Yeah. The guy who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at the age of 16, who was essentially, at that time, the LeBron James of baseball, yeah, he's really cooked. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Yeah, the watch comments are a bit much.
It's just stupid to me. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying he's what LeBron is, the best, whatever. That's
No,
not
I
what I'm
know.
saying. I know you're a LeBron stan, so I got to watch myself.
All
But
right.
you get, but you get my point though. Like he was like the next up. Like he was Mike Trout basically. Are him and Mike Trout the same age?
I think they might be, yeah.
Pretty
To it, at
close.
least. Yeah, pretty close.
But like
regardless,
the guy who dropped out of high school and went to JUCO at 16.
Yeah.
Like, please, he'll find it.
Exactly.
He'll find it.
And we understand, yes, he's getting older, obviously we know that, and it's not like he's going crazy like he did when he first came to the league. I understand that, but he's still like a dominant player when he needs to be. Like he's still that
makes
guy.
rookie mistakes.
Yeah, I mean it is, but nothing's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if he was perfect, then the guy would be like the greatest player of all time. But he's just not everybody's perfect. So it's just like
exactly.
And that's the thing. We know that like when Harper's on is when the team is doing a lot better. Like we know that. Like he is our superstar. He is the guy that can right the ship
He's
at
what
times.
Drives everything, of course.
Yes, and we know that like obviously Schwarber right now is kind of showing that a little bit more right now, like kind of carrying the team a little bit. But Harper is like the attitude of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like when things aren't going right, he's not going right, and you can, and it shows. And we're honest about that. It's not like we're trying to hide that and be like, oh well, it is what it is. Like Harper's not doing good, but like it's just like we know, like we're aware of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the awareness that like some people I guess just don't have with certain like situations. You know what I'm saying? And just like,
right.
He's washed. Well, he really wants that extension. Like, does he really deserve it? Like, dude, like, come on. Like this guy.
I know. I know.
This guy goes up. Like, come on.
Yeah. He's done everything he can.
Yes.
To assimilate himself to Philly, and everybody's just like, well, do we really need him? Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
yeah, if you're one of those people, don't come up talking to me about baseball. I'm just saying. But anyway, so that inning they didn't stop after the Harper home run. Max Kepler doubled, and drove in 2 more runs, made it 5-0. Brandon Marsh had another single. I mean, Marsh has been showing a lot lately since he's gotten back, and it's really good to see. Happy for him. Mundo Sosa singled.
And he looks a lot more comfortable in the box. Not to cut
he
you
does.
Off. He looks a lot more comfortable in the box.
Yeah, he really does. Sosa singled, made it 7-0. But like those type of innings, like, and especially in the eighth, like it's like the pressure's kind of on a little bit. It's the game's like it's still only 1-0. It's still close, whatever. The Guardians, they have a decent bullpen. I mean, you go back to last year, the bullpen was kind of the thing that really drove them last year. So, and they're well known for having that type of bullpen.
And that's what folded in the playoffs for them, and really, was their sinking ship. But no, I mean, Clase was the best closer. He was getting Cy Young votes, for crying out loud. Like, it takes a lot.
It does. But like those are the type of like innings I want to see more consistently from this team, especially against teams like that. I mean, I know they can do it against teams like Colorado. They're going through a rough time right now. Other bad teams
Rough to
around.
say the least.
Yeah, exactly. But like other bad teams like that we know they can beat. But coming through in those type of innings is like what we expect from them. And that's why people question things at times. It's like, can they come through in those moments? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what we need to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think that it's gonna be this stretch coming up. Like, we have some bad teams in front of us. It's gonna be gut check where it's like, let's beat the teams we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, because Cleveland could have went either way, like you said. I mean, they have a pretty deep lineup too. I mean, Stephen Kwan hits for average. He's always on base, super quick. He's a good player. I like watching him play.
Yeah.
But they have a good lineup. They have a good lineup. So I was pleasantly surprised to see how they handled it. But I do want to see the let's beat down these bad teams and do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, and the other thing too about like during this series is like in the last 2 games at least was putting the pressure on them, like taking the pressure off of us and putting the pressure on the other team. Like that's what we need to do as well. Just put the pressure on them. Whether like they came out of that inning and they only scored the 3 runs, let's say. What I'm saying? Like they didn't score like the next 4 runs, whatever. It was 3-0. Like still, like that is still like okay, putting pressure on them type of thing. Like you don't want to walk out of that inning only going up like one more run, like 2-0, and it's like, okay, well, bullpen's been shaky. They can give a 3-1 homer anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of thing that I just want to see them put together more often. So it was good to see on Saturday. So very good inning for them. Let's move into yesterday's game. Phillies got a 3-0 win behind, let's say, just Zach Wheeler and Kyle Schwarber alone. I mean, those 2 guys basically, but 2 players, two players of the game at least, I would say. Wheeler, I mean, did his usual thing. He finished with a line of 7 innings pitched.
He is just dominant, dude.
Yeah, he is. 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Not much more else I could say about Wheeler. Like, we know how we feel about him on here. And I mean, listen, like at the beginning of the game, there was a couple hits that he gave up or whatever. And like he got out of those jams, whatever, which was great. But he did his thing and he got a little run support. I mean, it was only 1 run for most of the game. But what else is new? So
sometimes that's all he needs, man. Well, that too. Yeah. What else is new? You're right about that. So I'm trying to look up the pitch breakdown of his game last night.
Mm-hmm.
He was using that 4-seam fastball quite a bit, and there was nothing they could do about it.
No,
like
nothing.
At all. There was nothing they could do about it.
Yeah,
but they showed his sequence at one point. I think it was the last inning. It was 4 4-seam fastballs and I think like a sinker. But he was just he was making them look silly. Like he cooked them. Like there's no other way to put it. So he's getting up there for me to where I'm like, this guy is just absolutely dominant. Like
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Unfortunately, I mean, he was having a pitching battle with Luis Ortiz from the Guardians. I mean, he had like 9 strikeouts. I mean, we were making him look like another Cy Young, of course. So I was getting a little nervous in that regards. I mean, outside of that home run he gave to Schwarber, but I was just like, okay, like, let's not give this guy too much confidence. But and then Schwarber. I mean, again, we talked about her earlier in the podcast. I mean, just doing Schwarber things, bro. Like the sound of the bat, like the sound of the bat when he hit the first home run. Like it's just like, dude,
he. I don't know how he does it. I was talking to my dad about his swing like last week.
Yeah,
and he was like, "It's just so short."
Yeah, it
is. He's hitting it from a knee. He's like, he has to be so strong.
Yeah,
like. He's dropping to a knee and the ball's going 20, 30 feet over the fence. It's like, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's one of those things where you watch and it's like, how is this possible?
Yeah, it's just like
he just swings and he stops and he just drops the bat and that's
yeah.
Like it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and like we talked about before, I think we talked about like a couple episodes ago, but just like his emotion, like you just tell, like it's just it is it's just another home run for him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
just like
He does the whole thumbs up to the dugout,
Yep.
and then he does the. Does he
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this to the bullpen?
He
I
might.
couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
I think do something to the
Something
bullpen,
like
but
that. He does something like that, or he points or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just so nonchalant with it,
He is.
and then he touches home, and then that's when the celebration starts.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But yeah,
I mean,
extend him.
he's a player's player, man.
He is. Yeah, I mean, he deserves
I
an
love
extension
Schwarber.
at this point. I don't know the argument of it. It's gonna keep on going, and I don't know how long it's it. If it extends throughout the whole season, then it is what it is.
I
I don't
think they
know.
end up extending him probably by the end of the season.
Yeah, well, and there's obviously been talks about it. We've heard, but like
And I
the
don't want to hear anybody ask Dombrowski about it because all he's going to say is, I don't talk about contracts publicly. So I
yeah.
feel like that people shouldn't waste their breath.
Well, and that's the thing. I was going to say, like they don't want to, do that when they have other players to extend as well, aka JT. You know what I'm saying? It kind of cause that little like riffraff in
Right.
the clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like they want to be smart about it.
I think they're grown up. That's one thing about this team being old. I know we make jokes about them being old and stuff, but that's one thing that I think doesn't get in the way uh of their process or whatever, is like that petty stuff, like well, he got a contract but I didn't. Everybody
Yeah,
kind of knows who they are and what they do. So I feel
yeah,
like with being veterans, they just they're like, you know what, if that's the way they're going to do things, it's okay. Like they're
yeah.
not. And it's funny that you bring that up because I watched the Stubbs interview from Todd Zalecki when it was actually the day he got sent down.
Mm,
It was an interview with the Phillies show, and which, I mean, props to Stubbs because he didn't have to do that interview. Like when he got sent down, he could have been like, I'm not talking today, I'm not doing, whatever. But he talked about very candidly, like last year, it was when Witt got cut.
yeah,
It was like we didn't handle that the best way. And he didn't call out names. He didn't say that anybody like freaked out. It was just like we didn't handle that as well as we could have.
yeah,
So I think that matters a lot, and I think this team may have learned from that experience. And I think that gives the young guys great role models, like Alec Bowman and guys like that, learning from a Bryce Harper, learning from a Kyle Schwarber, learning from a
yeah,
Nick Castellanos. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I not to go on a whole rant thing about clubhouse culture, but I think that stuff matters a lot,
yeah.
and I
No,
think
for sure.
Schwarber is the catalyst for that.
No, he is. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he's gonna set the example of saying like I'm not gonna cause this to be a problem in the clubhouse. Like obviously he was aware of the
Right?
situation, but you're not gonna get that from Schwarber. Like you're just not. Like it's not gonna be
No,
one of
no,
those selfish people that are just gonna like do it
exactly.
around and shit like that. So it's like I'm not worried about that when it comes to Schwarber.
And,
So
and you hear stories like when I watched an interview with Marsh not too long ago.
mm,
It was like in the offseason. They asked him what it was like when he first got to Philly in 2022 when we traded for him. He said it was weird. He said it was kind of quiet in there. He was like, I was just kind of like keeping to myself. And he said Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper walked right up to me and was like, hey, if you need anything, let us know. If you have any
yeah,
questions about how we run things, let us know. Like it wasn't like an intimidation thing, like, oh, you're not going to come in and mess this up. It was like, dude, you're part of this team now. You're one of the guys.
yeah,
It's stuff like that. And then when Turner signs in 2023, calls him right away because they're already friends. Hey, where do you want to hit? It's like that's leadership.
yeah,
That's leadership. You know what I mean? Like it's Kyle Schwarber's the catalyst for a lot of positivity in that clubhouse and just like camaraderie. I think
exactly. Yeah, and that's why he
so.
needs to stay for another however many years they want to let him stay. I don't care. It could be
Make him retire in a Phillies uniform. I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah.
I don't want to see him go anywhere else.
I don't.
I
I
will
don't
be
even.
able to. I'll deal with the crap that everybody's gonna go. He either hits a homer or he strikes out in like 6 years when he's 40 something
Yeah,
and still in a Phillies uniform. When he's like,
yeah.
this is Ryan Howard 2.0. I can't believe they're letting this guy do this. Why is he still bad? I can't wait, dude. I can't wait.
I will be there no matter what. You
Yeah.
know what? I saw somebody say something where it was like, so somebody said like, oh, he ended up going to the Mets or something. I don't want to see that or whatever. And it's like, dude, I don't need that. I don't need him going to another team.
I don't even need to put that in the universe.
Just saying, that'd be crazy. That would
get out of there, man.
That right there would
me
kill
alone
me.
with that.
That would kill me inside. I would, yeah.
Yeah, that would be painful.
It would be. Real quick, getting off the series real quick, but shout out to the bullpen as well for this game, Alvarado. We did question why he was in for the 8th, not the 9th, but obviously it shows because Romano seems like he's kind of possibly getting back to his old ways. So I'm still kind of,
the stock is up. The stock is up.
Yeah, the stock's up, but like let's see a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, just consistency.
You don't want to be wrong. That's what it is. You don't want to be proclaiming that he's back.
It's just I'm like, stay calm is what I'm saying.
You disappeared on my screen. There we go.
But Alvarado doing his thing. I mean, no more words. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what Alvarado is, and if he wants to be the setup guy in the 8th, like if that's where he feels comfortable too, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if a guy like Romano could get back to
his old ways. I will say, did you see the Mother's Day thing written on Alvarado's cat?
That was really cool.
I'm kind of surprised that they let him do that.
Well, yeah, somebody said on Twitter, like, oh, wouldn't be surprised if the league finds him, which I'm just like, I wouldn't be shocked. But
not even the fine, but like, do you remember, this is a throwback, and they're coming back from what I've seen with the Pirates wearing them. Remember those necklaces that ball players used to wear?
Mm.
We weren't allowed to wear them, and like those players weren't allowed to wear them because it was something that was a different color, and it was essentially like how they banned the rally towels, the white rally towels. We couldn't do them because it was something that messed with the batter and the pitcher, whatever. I'm just surprised they let something that's not like uniform on there like that and say it was distracting or something. Like I'm surprised it wasn't written on the inside of his hat. I don't know. It's just something. I think it was cool, but I'm just surprised that they didn't say anything to him about it.
No, yeah, me too. And I mean, knowing how Alvarado is, the type of person he is, he probably didn't care. He probably was going to do it regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, listen, it's Mother's Day. I mean, come on now. Like, let's.
No, I agree.
Have some fun a little bit. Let's relax a little bit. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised if they mentioned to him like, "Yo, listen, just if you're gonna do that, we don't care, but like do it this way or do it that, right on the back. Do something a little different than right forward." It's just stupid baseball stuff that I was thinking about when I was watching that yesterday.
No, yeah, exactly. Also, umpire was terrible yesterday. I wanted to bring that up. That was god awful. I talked about it before we started shooting, but the umpire cam when they like switched to him and like they're arguing with the players, was just like, all right, like it felt a little like weird because it's like you're like sitting there and like Schwarber and Turner like screaming into the guy's face, like
dude,
right
like
it's like
and like I said to you when we started shooting, or before we started shooting. They mentioned on the ESPN broadcast, which, dude, are they calling golf? Like, they are not excited about anything. Like, holy cow. I wish I could just listen to Fransky. But anyway, they said if oh, man, sorry. I'm like.
No, you're going to go.
So if they said, like, he's being very cordial about how he's talking to the players. Because there's a lot of umpires we've seen, like, oh, you want to get in my face? And they get all big. He didn't do that. He's like, this is what, and he calmly took the mask off. Like when he was talking to Castellanos is more when I saw it.
Yeah.
He took the mask off. He got right next to him. Hey, this is blah, blah, blah. Nick didn't argue with it. And then Nick walked away. If he was getting aggressive with the players or if there was shouting matches or he takes the mask off all quick in the middle of an at-bat, that's when Rob goes out there. But I think Rob probably made the right decision in not saying anything to him in the moment. Now, afterwards, he could have said, like, hey, man, listen, you were blowing this. Like, it's, I know.
Yeah. Got
it. But, like, you were blowing these calls, man. Like, and that's one thing. But doing it on the field is a whole other thing. And I think both sides handled it correctly.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, I was just like, at the end of the day, I don't know. Sometimes you got to beat the umps too. Sometimes you got to deal with the calls, and sometimes you just got to you got to get through it. So it is what it is. Umpire Kim though, a little weird.
I kind of like it, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it.
Just a little
weird. I like it
know.
for when they show the hits. Like
Yeah, when they
If
should
they
hit,
show
yeah.
like a home run, that you could see it, like how that's cool to me.
Yeah.
And like it makes for good memes when they turn around and they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like right in his
That is,
face.
I mean, that is true. We do have a good meme now of Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner. So
And Trey Turner. Dude, did you see? I forget who it was. They put the Trey they put the Trey picture from that
mhm.
on the doorbell camera, and it was like, "Who's at my door?" And it's him just like, dude, it's so funny. I gotta
uh,
find who that was so that way I can give them credit, but it's just so funny.
yeah. But
Oh
overall,
man.
glad they got the series win and a
Yes.
very competitive
Yes.
series with the Guardians, a good team. So it was great to see.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So question of the day. Very interesting one to say the least. I kind of cooked this up one myself, and I figured, okay, like it's time to kind of look back a little bit. So compared to where we were last season at this time, to you, do you feel
Mhm.
like it is more of a this is what this team should be rather than this is an outlier type of start again? Because last year, they got down to the great start around this time. We were on the high horse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody was
we were
pulling
like, "Is there
strings.
anything wrong with this
Yeah,
team?"
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And eventually we saw the downward spiral they went on in the second half, and then we had discussions
Mhm.
around that time last year when they were doing bad, like was that an outlier? And then we go to this year where a little bit of a bumpy start here and there. We got swept by the Mets, and struggling against some other teams, whatever. And now we're kind of like, we're in second place in the division, but we've been getting like a good amount of consistent wins. We've won the last like 5 series. Like, how are you feeling now than how you were like last year, type of thing? Like comparing it almost in a way.
So, last year, it was almost like I was on a high of like, well, this never happens. I can't believe this is happening to us. This is great. This is the greatest thing ever. This
Yeah.
year, I'm just like, I try to keep myself in check. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this team is really good and they're supposed to be good. And I
Yeah.
think to answer your question, first off, I think this is what this team is. I think there's going to be some games with good teams that they're going to have to grind it out. Like
Yeah.
last night, 3-0, victory, something like that. But I think they're not as like, well, we're just dominating for a little bit and then it's going to cut off. No, I don't think that's the case. I think this is who this team is. Last year, in the dark depths of my mind, I knew that hot start wasn't going to last. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like this year feels like a team that is going to stay consistent, and there will be peaks and valleys, of course. Like the season's not over. We have 4 months of this thing left.
Yeah.
But come October, I think this team will be more seasoned than they were last year. Because last year it was almost like they thought they were going to walk in the clubhouse and win. I don't think that's how they feel this year. What are your thoughts on it? Because I know
Yeah.
we were
So
kind of on the same page last year a little bit, but
like you said, like obviously, there's still, a lot of the season left. Like we're still gonna go through some tough things, whatever. I'm not saying like this is just like, oh my god type of thing. But like
yeah,
what I'm feeling right now is like when like, and I'm saying this as I feel as a fan, like when I'm watching games as of right now, like to the start of the season, where I'm like,
mhm,
we're not like getting ahead of ourselves. Like we're not like, okay, like
yes,
last year, like they were winning and stuff like that. We're like, it was almost kind of like they were being complacent at times, whatever. Like, okay, like you just said, like they're just gonna walk into the clubhouse and win. I feel like right now it's like we're gonna have some tough losses. Like we're gonna have games, or they're gonna have games where like they're not gonna play well, and they know that. Like, and it is what it is. Like I don't think obviously they're gonna harp on it or whatever. No pun intended. But and I think though that like
unnecessary.
I'm just saying, I just kidding about. But anyway, I just feel like the team's in a good spot right now. Like I know we're second division, we're still fighting to get back up there, or whatever. But I don't think that's in the back of their mind where they're like, we need to get to the top of the division again, or this isn't going to
Yeah,
go well. Like I think just
right.
right now, it is what it is where we're at. They're winning games. They're doing new things on offense that we've asked them to do before, and they're finally doing it. And that was the whole question mark going into the season. And obviously, the bullpen is the bullpen. Like we're hopefully at this point, we're probably going to have to wait till the trade deadline if anything happens with making that better or whatever. I don't know,
Yeah,
but I think compared to like this time last year, it's like we were just like kind of expecting like, oh, like this is going to go on for the whole season, and then not expecting that there was going to be a drop off. Like right now, as a fan, I'm thinking like, okay, we're going to have some tough times, but we know that this team can win when they need to. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's pressure on this team, yes, like from some of the fan base. But me personally, sitting here after certain games where I'm just like, all right, they lost, but on to tomorrow. Okay, they got the series win, great. We're on to the next series now. Like, I'm also not really thinking too much about Red October. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, like I'm not like trying to get too ahead of myself and thinking like, listen, got to stay a little humble, and we just got to take it one game at a time. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm like trying to like be dead inside and like can't celebrate a win. Like of course I'm excited when they win, but at the same time I'm just trying to be humble, and I know that this team should be like what they're playing like right now. Like we know this is this team. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to think of more of the words I put together. I know I've been all over the place, but
I know what you're saying.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just being humble.
I think that last year a lot of that had to do with the fact that we hadn't won the division in 13 years. You know, like we went through so much bad baseball, and you're like, well, maybe if we win the division, that's going to be the difference that'll send us to the World Series. Maybe that's going to be the thing. Then Acuna gets hurt, unfortunately. Strider gets hurt, unfortunately, because you want to beat those teams at your best. I know people are like, oh, well, I'm not feeling sorry for them. It's not that I feel sorry, but I want to beat teams at their best. That's what I want to do. But, and we got the wins when it mattered, so I don't really care. But, like, I think now it's like, well, maybe the division will figure itself out. Maybe we'll win the division because we're just stacking these consistent wins. Not, let's beat this team into the ground, and then the next week, we have a 10-0 loss. No, dude. And we haven't had any laughers, but like last year we didn't really either. And I think this year is putting that in their brain like, hey, if we get consistent wins, we're still going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know the NL is super stacked.
Yes, it is.
And the NL West is an absolute juggernaut. I mean, I was texting with Mike about it not too long ago. It's Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, even though we just, beat the Diamondbacks, whatever. But like, those teams, those divisions are stacked. So it's like, as long as we keep consistent, like I would hate for the Mets to win the division because I hate the Mets more than anything.
Yeah.
But like, those are the kind of thoughts that I think changes a team from, well, this is a good team with good talent, whatever, to a winning culture and winning club. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's exactly like on point of what I was thinking of. It's just like, listen, we got to enjoy the season. Like last year was cool too. It was fun. Like I said, it was a great season until like the second half or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, I just think they should just take it one game at a time. And as a fan base, we got to like just enjoy it. And yes, it's not going to be perfect. Like it's not, we weren't going to get out to that same start that we got last year. Like obviously it wasn't going to be the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to show some of their, true colors, whatever. Like sometimes in tough situations, after the Mets series where they got swept, it's like they could have just laid down. They could have just went like, okay, like this is we're gonna have a terrible start to the season. We're gonna be like 10 games under 500 or whatever by like end of May. But instead, they didn't dwell on it, and here we are, 5 series later or whatever, and we've won, all 5 of them. So, it is, we'll see what happens, but like I said, I wanted to just do a check just because like I was having thoughts about it last night about just like at this time last year and how I was feeling. And, if you go back to watch the episodes, obviously I said we were on a high horse here, but it's just like here where I am now, how I'm feeling about it after each game, where I'm just like, okay, that was great, they got the win, but it's like on to the next one type of thing. So
for sure,
it's always good to do a little check-in, I feel like. So just want to talk about that.
We gotta stay humble and everything else.
We do, can't come in here all the time like celebrating and stuff.
Dude, last year, remember the one episode we were like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this team.
Yeah.
Like, well, jeez, man.
And who knows? We might get checked again this year. Who knows? I don't know.
No, I will not. I refuse.
I don't know.
No, I will not have those receipts out there. That's not happening.
Yeah, well. So do you want to go into Pete's picks? We'll skip tweet of the week because I know you say you don't.
Yeah, sure.
Have
Yeah. I feel like we didn't really have many tweets of the week anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously we're going into to a series tonight against the Cardinals.
Yep.
Do you want to do the Pirates series too?
Or
are we gonna wait for the series in review for the Cardinals?
No, I'll wait for the series in review for that one.
All right. So we got the Cardinals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know what the pitching matchups are like. We do have some odd start times, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Go. What you got?
So start series tonight against the Cardinals. Tonight we got Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Liberator, who's a really good pitcher for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are on fire right now. Like I think they've won 8 straight games, or whatever, recently. So
I think they just beat the Nationals 10-0 the other night.
Yeah, so they're kind of picking up steam here. So they come into Philly, and I'm just like, awesome. Now we get a smoldering red hot Cardinals team, which it's okay. I mean, I think personally we're a better team than the Cardinals, but maybe gotta show up. So I'm gonna say we take 2 out of 3 here. I know we got Sanchez tonight, got Luzardo on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, I think we got Noel on the mound. So not sure who's gonna catch Noel on Wednesday. We'll see, but yeah, I'm gonna say we take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. If the offense can stay consistent, slow this in the pitching, this pitching staff, I feel like that's our biggest advantage always going into any series. If they could somehow slow down this Cardinals offense, and keep them to and not let them score 10 runs, then I feel like we're in a good spot for the most part.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna say we take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no reason why we shouldn't. I think, like you said, I'm not going to disrespect them because they were, pretty hot right now, or they are pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
But I think we can handle them. I think, like you said, our pitching staff is the biggest advantage we have. We have some really good hitters, but that pitching staff is our ace in the hole, really.
For sure. Should be an exciting series. It's great to be back home too. Thank God.
Yes,
the long road trips are what they are, but it's always great to be back at CBP. So
definitely
excited to be back home on the homestand. Got anything around the league or whatever? Anything that caught your eye or whatever?
So this happened yesterday, and we talked about it for a second.
Yeah.
Well, not but like when we weren't recording, we talked about the game at least. The Rockies lost 21-0.
Yeah, they're god awful.
Or was it 21-0 or 21-1?
21-0.
Okay. Then they fired their coach.
Yes.
So I just how is that guy's fault? You know what I'm saying? I just don't. Come on.
There had to be a scapegoat somewhere, man. You know,
but dude, there's not even it's not even like they got new ownership and that wasn't their guy they hired, and it was like, all right, now we can get our guys in there.
Yeah.
No, I'll never understand why firing the coach. Honestly, and a guy from Baseball is Dead. Shout out Jay Hay. He tweeted, the Rockies did this coach a huge favor. Is his name Rob Black? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name? Okay.
Yeah.
They did him a huge favor by not having his name attached to this dreadful, dreadful season, because they're going to set the record for losses after the White Sox did it last year.
Yeah. Dude.
So I don't know what it's like to be that bad. The Phillies had some bad seasons.
Yeah.
But wow.
It wasn't that bad though. It's just we had bad years.
We never got we broke 100 losses once.
Yeah.
But Lord have mercy, I wouldn't be able to. Dude, it's bad, man.
I would also say too, though, through those bad years for us, I mean, at least we had some notable players that gave us some good memories. I mean, you look at the Rockies and they're the only notable player might be Chris Bryant. He's on the IL. You know what I'm saying?
Doyle.
Brenton Doyle, yeah, he's a good player, whatever.
The Rockies won last night 9-3.
Wow, well, there you go. I mean, I don't know.
Did you see that it was? Oh man, I gotta find this tweet. Go, keep talking about what you're talking about. I gotta find the specific tweet.
Well, I just as a fan, I talked about it plenty of times, but I would have to check into therapy if I was a fan of the Rockies right now. I would be going through it, bro. And I mean, the Colorado Rockies, whatever. Like, I mean, if I was a Colorado fan on the east side in New Jersey, it's like, like, I just like I wouldn't even be paying attention probably. And it sounds bad because what they say, like, oh, no matter what,
Bud
be a
Black
fan.
Bud Black is the manager's name, by the way. Bud Black. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm trying to find this tweet. It was like, oh man, where is it? I can't.
Bro did not bookmark the tweets.
I didn't. I half the stuff I think I bookmark, I just don't.
Hold this man accountable.
I don't know what is wrong with me, but there's some stat somewhere where it's like, if the Mets got shut out in their next 40 games, they'd still have a better run differential than the Rockies. Like, or something like that. Yeah, man, it's bad. It's rough. It's really bad.
And there's so many people out there saying, like, I'll just send delete the Rockies organization and blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, well, I mean, that's not going to happen, one. And two, I mean, I just think they got to somehow build the foundation up better. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know if that's, being seller's deadline and just completely restarting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like you said, they got good young guys. They got a guy like Doyle, Hunter Goodman, the catcher.
Doyle, yep.
I mean, he's been doing pretty good. And then what was his name? The one pitcher, I think Kyle Freeland or whatever. Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
And I think he was on the podium or whatever for a post game interview a couple days ago. I saw on Twitter, and he was like saying, like, talking to the fans, I guess, whatever, and saying, like, oh, well, don't give up on us and stuff like that. Blah blah. It's like, well,
yeah.
I mean, they're going to give up on you in this year because you're not going to be anywhere close to contending. So I mean, I can kind of understand from that aspect.
It's a tough thing.
It is.
I can't imagine.
And it sucks to see. I mean, like you said, we've had tough years too, and it was like we were going through it. But like, Philadelphia is like such a passionate like sports town fan base. And I'm not saying Colorado isn't. Like they have other good teams as well. But
yeah,
I mean, going through like if you're a big baseball fan on the Colorado side of things and whatnot, and you're going to games, you don't know what they expect. Like you're expecting a loss probably, but it must be tough to go through. And I don't know, man. I couldn't.
Yeah.
It would be rough. It would be rough podcast episodes if we were going through something like that.
Oh my god!
Just like, it'd be rough.
It'd be really bad.
Yeah, it would be. It'd take some like blood pressure medication or something afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Anything else though? Anything else that really caught your eye?
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm all right.
All right. Well, so for the most part, we're going to shoot another series in review after this St. Louis Cardinals series, and then probably won't be back in person in studio until like after I get back from vacation. I'm leaving this Friday, so we'll be doing another remote shoot for our next main pod. Yeah, I'm not sure when back in the studio. We'll see it play by ear. I know you're going away for a couple of days.
Yeah, going to Colorado to watch the Phillies play in Colorado.
So. There you go. So you go to Colorado.
About that. Yeah. Yep. Very excited about that.
Yeah, get some footage while you're there. Posting a story and stuff like that. So like usual.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep you guys.
Me and Gabby got some good seats. There's a ring around the top of the around one row in the stadium, and it's exactly a mile high. It's a row of purple seats. So
nice.
Shout out to her. She did all this research and stuff to find the best seats. So she's got us covered. But
there we go.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
The ball will be flying out there too. So you gotta watch.
I hope so. And maybe Bryce Harper will call them losers.
Yeah, there you go. But other than that, we'll keep you guys in the loop. Keep looking on the Instagram and stuff like that. Also, we'll be tweeting out as well. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that during the game. So keep up with that. But yeah, other than that.
All right. Go Phils.
Go Phils. We're out here. Peace.